Hello, I'm Simon Christie and welcome to Four Wheel Drive TV. This week we kick off the episode back in Woods Point. We finish up that very tough high country track we did just out of the township. We've also got some great news on motorsport and plenty more. I hope you enjoy the episode. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard.
Yep, we asked Alan to prepare quite a tough one for us, and didn't he produce?
Danny drove up first off, and after a couple of attempts he pretty well clawed his way to the top. Then Alan went up in his Landcruiser ute.
Now this little hill, I've done this many times in the past, but this time it was raining, which makes it very slippery and very wet, of course. The track is a rock base, and wet rocks with a bit of clay mixed in on rubber tyres don't make for a hell of a lot of traction.
And then it was left for the rest of us to have a crack at it.
Everyone's done different stuff today. We've had people operating as winch operators, making sure that the cable doesn't get tangled. We've had people running up and down the hill, hooking up snatch straps and tree trunk protectors and winch extension straps. We've had people organising, and that's a really important part in coordinating the recovery so no one gets hurt. What we're going to do is use each car to pull the car that gets stuck up in front of it. So each of us have a turn at doing a tug, keeps the convoy in line, and it makes it nice and easy, not too much stress on one car.
The second part of the track was a lot more challenging. A few cars got winched the whole way up. My car got about halfway, like a few of the other cars. Just a tip, take all the rubbish off your keyring so it doesn't turn your air lockers off when it swings around under the dash there like that. You might get a bit further. When you're being winched, it's important to maintain the constant wheel speed comparable to the winch speed. You don't want to drive faster than the winch, and you don't want to be putting too much load on the winch by having it drag you up the hill.
The winching took probably more than 4 hours to get it up over the last 300 metres, which it took. Could see again it's important to have a good team and a good coordinator guiding all the people which way to turn their wheel right and left. I think you need a person who watches, because you really can't see where you're going when you're going on these steep hills, and you need a good coordinator who guides you all the way up. So it was a good experience for all of us, and for me in particular and my wife. They had a great day.
The second major hill that we had, well, I'd give us some more beans. At one stage I was actually at full throttle and full traction. I just really clawed in that, but that hill was so steep it eventually brought me to a stop. But the guys were all there, they hooked me up, and that didn't take too long.
I was the last one to go up because I think they put the slowest guy at the back this time so I could get the faster vehicles up to the top. I gave it heaps at the bottom, as much momentum as I thought was safe, and jumped up over that ledge, really pushed it to try and keep it straight on the tracks and in the ruts. Simon did offer me a second crack at it, but I really felt that I'd given it a good show first off, and I really didn't want to do any damage to the vehicle. The reward of getting it at the top was fantastic, just to be part of the teamwork and the success that everybody enjoys together.
People have come from all around Australia to do this thing, so they've done a terrific job. Thanks again, guys.
Hi, I'm Brad Smith from Mickey Thompson Tyres. Today I want to talk to you about some of the advantages of directional four-wheel drive tyres. Directional four-wheel drive tyres share some of the key elements of a traditional mud tyre. Things like scalloped alternate lugs, so really that means every rotation is a clean bite when you're off-road. Side biters, any mud tyre should have a good deep side biter on it. Not much changes with directional tyre, but in some cases like this, you'll see that there's actually a direction on the side biter itself, which helps to give you more traction off-road when you're trying to climb out of the ruts. The main difference with a directional mud tyre is the tread pattern. That's what makes it significantly different. You can see on this one more like an arrowhead rather than a traditional block pattern, and it's quite simple. It's that the arrow should always point to the front of the car when fitted to the vehicle. That way you know your tyres are going in the right direction. These directional style patterns in mud tyres will give you an increase of traction off-road. They've got more bite. In off-road situations, it's more of a digging, tearing style tread pattern, so what you'll find is you'll get more traction. You maximise your traction off-road with a directional pattern. Also, it's able to clear the material out of the tyre faster. It's not dissimilar to tractor tyres, which are really designed for super boggy conditions and for maximum traction off-road. I'm Brad Smith from Mickey Thompson Tyres. Thanks for joining me for this week's tyre tip.
If you drive a four-wheel drive with or without a dual battery kit, then it's time to upgrade. Modern vehicles and modern battery technologies require smart electronics, and the Piranha Off-Road Products DBE 140 dual battery controller has all the smart grunt you will need packed into an affordable and tiny package. Priced at just $170, the Piranha DBE 140 is the smart choice in dual battery management. For more information on how you can stay charged, visit piranhaoffroad.com.au.
I'm Chris Weston, off-road racer and owner of Off-Road Rush, and I wouldn't race on anything else than my Mickey Thompson tyres. I trust my Mickey Thompsons at high speed. They can handle wet or dry without any trouble. And that means I can keep racing while the competitors stop to change tyres. Mickey Thompson? No wonder they call them legendary.
Call 1300-MICKEY for your nearest dealer.
The next generation of shock absorbers is here. Leading the way in 4x4 suspension development, Old Man Emu introduces the most advanced and finely tuned shock absorber on the market. Nitro Charger Sport incorporates a new valving system that instantly adapts to all terrain for an outstanding smooth ride and phenomenal control. Backed by a 3-year, 60,000 kilometre warranty, you can trust Nitro Charger Sport, built in Australia for Australian conditions.
In between episodes of your favourite TV show, visit fourwheeldrivetv.com.au for the latest in 4x4 news, links, prizes and videos. Stay in touch with myself and Danny and receive regular updates, promos and photos via our Facebook page. And visit youtube.com/4wheeldrivetvtube for our latest 4x4 videos. There's 3 great ways to stay up to date and in touch with our growing 4-wheel drive community in between episodes.
All the colors of the rainbow here Well folks, that's the end of the bitumen we've driven up this morning from Piranha station, and here we are in Marty. Now this is a pretty famous town. It's the starting point for two very well known tracks into the outback. We've got the Birdsville track heading this way, and we're right here at the start of the Unadata track, which is where we're going this afternoon. Now the Unadata track is an excellent road. I mean, certainly when it's nice and dry like this, it's a fantastic road. You can sort of cruise at high speeds very, very easily. The thing you do have to watch out for is punches. It's basically dirt the whole way through the Unadata track, and particularly for people running road tyres and things like that. So a very good way to minimise the likelihood of damaging the tyre through puncturing it is to drop the air pressures down. So we've got about 30 psi in the Hilux here now. Had 40 this morning on the bitumen, but we've dropped it down by about 10 pounds, and that will certainly reduce the likelihood of getting a puncture on the tyre. And then the other thing you find is with slightly lower pressures, it certainly improves the ride on these rough surfaces as well. Now the other thing I'm going to do this afternoon with this vehicle is stick it in four-wheel drive. Now a lot of people don't bother putting their four-wheel drive on dirt roads, but it's certainly very advisable. A couple of things will happen. The car will be a lot safer, you've got a lot more control over the car, and then the other thing is, rather than slipping and sliding and so forth, which will again put more wear on the tyres, we'll find that having the car in four-wheel drive will make the tyres last a lot longer as well on these sort of surfaces.
With rumours starting to surface that four-wheel drive TV will be back at Tuff Truck for 2013, we thought it apt to look at some past highlights of this world-class Aussie event.
and darkies there for a bit. Apparently, we've broken our flange.
Get your head inside here quickly. It's time for four-wheel drive TV.
Finally, the driving light you've always wanted is here, boasting a class-leading freeform reflector and a super tough polycarbonate lens and ABS housing. The all-new Navara Ultimate 225 is a revolutionary driving light, available in halogen, halogen blue and HID, in both spread and pencil beams, and supplied complete with a plug-and-play wiring harness and polycarbonate lens protectors. These Aussie Outback Tuff lights outshine the competition. Visit nava.com.au for more information and make the switch to the brightest lights in town.
Viewers, the wait is over. Shop online at the 4Drive TV store for personalised merchandise, 4Drive TV clothing, 4Drive products and even DVD subscriptions. That's right, 2 episodes of 4Drive TV posted out to you every fortnight for the whole series, and all for just $50. Support your favourite program, wear the brand you love and never miss another episode with our collector's DVD subscriptions. Get shopping at 4drivetv.com.au with the 4Drive TV online store.
G'day, my name's Marty and this is my 2001 Toyota Landcruiser FZJ 105. It's currently running 33-inch Mickey Thompson mud terrain tyres. It's got a snorkel, it's running a standard steel bull bar with spot and spread driving lights. It's running a fold-out awning and it's also got some good gear underneath. Running a UHF as well as an AMCB. Also got the bed and fridge in the back for when I go away. Currently like four-wheel driving around the Mount Disappointment, Mount Skene and Pyrenees areas, as well as the Grampians when I can. Also like to take my daughter on as many trips as possible. One of the places I would like to go would be Cape York, as well as the Simpson Desert eventually, but I'll need a good navigator for that. Looking to get a 2-inch lift as well as some airbags, obviously some road tyres for just out on the open highway.
If you'd like to be the weekly Your Rig right here on 4Drive TV, then send an email to myself with Your Rig in the subject line. Each weekly winner takes home an electric blue span set snatch strap, a complete You-Fix-It windscreen repair kit, a DP chip stubby holder and Berrima diesel cap, an ARB cap, a packet of Up and Go courtesy of Sanitarium, ARB Penrith stubby holder, an emergency can of ARB Outback Survival socks, an RFI stubby holder and an RFI cap, a HEMA Great Desert Tracks Atlas and Guide, an X17 Fiskars Synthetic Axe, a 911 Memorial Cap courtesy of 511 Tactical, an ARB rechargeable LED Adventure Light, ARB's latest new product, Forby the Soft Toy, an off-road ready Travelmate tyre pressure gauge, a set of smart scissors from our good friends at Kiesler Knives, a magazine from Bow Hunter, Wild Deer and Hunting Adventures and Dirt Comp. And it's all neatly packed up in an ARB cargo gear carry bag.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Simon and Miranda from 4 Drive TV for making this day possible and allowing me to present my rig to all of you. Also I'd like to thank all the 4 Drive TV sponsors for the prize packs.
G'day guys, this is Alan Johnson here from Piranha. We're out in the Simpson Desert about 20 kilometres away from Popple's Corner. We've just done some pretty rough terrain out here. There are a lot of corrugations and it is very remote. And what I'd like to talk to you a little bit about is about suspension. Now every vehicle comes with suspension when you buy it and it works quite well for what nice people do around the suburbs and with normal loads. But out here this is a different situation. We have got massive amounts of corrugations. We need to be travelling at a sensible speed. You can't do 2 kilometres an hour. You've got to probably be sitting on somewhere between 15 to 20 k's to achieve any distance. Otherwise be out here forever. Now your suspension is basically what holds your car up and what makes it ride properly. And what I'd like to talk today about is shock absorber fade specifically, because that's something some of us are experiencing in a pretty significant manner. Shock absorber fade isn't your shock absorber breaking or falling to pieces or failing. What it is it's just not doing the job that a shock absorber is designed to do. Now to understand how a shock absorber works is very simple. What you've got is a canister that goes up and down like a piston. It's got a series of valves on the end of that piston, which are like little washers with holes in them and springs which hold them together. That's what gives you what they call the valve coating. Now inside the shock absorber is oil, basically just oil, hydraulic oil. Now when that oil gets hot, as it does from going up and down and being squished and from all the temperature going through it, the oil gets thinner and thinner and thinner until eventually the oil starts to break down, and then eventually it starts to boil. And what happens is those valves are no longer running through liquid, they're running through cavitated oil, which means there's nothing to resist it. So the shock absorber, what we call, goes off, which means effectively the only thing stopping your car from bouncing is the springs. And what we're seeing, as you probably see in some of the tracks, is a car bouncing massive distances up and down over the corrugations, uncontrolled, because the shock absorbers have faded out. Now we're stopping here for lunch and to do some minor repairs, and those shock absorbers will cool down again. They will then come back to life again and start working, which is great, but they will fade again. Really good quality aftermarket shockers do a couple of really clever things. A, they have more oil in them. It takes longer to boil a litre of oil than it does half a litre of oil, so by having more volume they last longer. Secondly, you can put nitrogen gas in on top of those shock absorbers. Now the purpose of the nitrogen gas is to actually increase the pressure against the oil. Now you know how you have your radiator cap on top of your car? If you boil water in a billy, it boils at 100 degrees. You put a radiator cap on your water, the same sort of water, and it boils at a much higher temperature. That's because we're putting 16 pounds of pressure against that water. As we put high pressures of nitrogen gas against the oil, it helps to resist that oil from breaking up and becoming aerated or becoming cavitated, which causes your fade problem. So when you buy your suspension for this sort of terrain, make sure you don't rely upon stock standard stuff, good quality aftermarket suspension, and you will have an absolutely fantastic experience out here. The guys who are running standard suspension are not having quite such a nice time, would be the best way to put it. If you're experiencing really bad shock absorber fade and your car is bouncing all over the place, what can you do about it when you're out here? There's no shops to go and buy better aftermarket suspension. What you can do is a couple of really simple things. You can run your tyre pressures a little bit lower. You could actually stop, let the oil reconstitute itself back to its proper viscosity, let it cool down, in other words. Possibly move some of the weight that might be behind the axle, which is right over the back suspension. Try and move some of that weight forward if you can. And that's about all you can really do. But take breaks, travel at a sensible speed, but if you just keep pushing with it bouncing and bouncing, bouncing, you're actually likely to break something, and that's not a good thing.
Hi, I'm Mick and this is my co-driver Daniel, the Navara sponsored comp rig. You've probably seen this truck before in the winch challenge stages, but we've moved up a step. We're doing off-road racing now. It's had a bit of an overhaul with an extra shocker put in the back and the style side body that we use for off-road racing. We're here today at the Melbourne 4x4 show for the Oz Truck exhibition and doing some promotional stuff for our major sponsor Navara. It's a great day here and there's lots of new products around. We were here last year doing the Oz Truck. We broke a lot of stuff. Saturday afternoon now and so far we haven't broken anything. We're doing all right. Great for the spectators, and that's what it's all about, getting people to see what we do. A lot of the time we're out in the bush doing it and we just want to show you guys what we do. Also notice that we've got a Navara transporter to get us around. We're going all around the country doing off-road racing. Whole new experience for us. Lots of high speed, big bumps, really good stuff. Spent a bit of time on the suspension, beefed it up, put a bigger shock in the front, a lot of time with tuning and valving suspension. For the off-road racing we've gone the style side bodies. That's part of the rules and regulations. There's different regs on harnesses and seats and fuel systems. A little bit goes into it, but it's well worth the fun. Took a little bit of getting used to driving a car at 200 k's an hour down a rough track, but I like it. We've had a pretty hectic year this year. We've done 2 off-road races already, one in Victoria down at Sea Lake. Then we had to change it back to winch challenge specs to go and do Cliffhanger. And then we went to Goondiwindi in Queensland. We're here this weekend. In 2 weeks we're off to Millicent for another round. So it's go, go, go for Navara racing this year.
Well, viewers, thank you for tuning in for another episode of 4 Drive TV. Always remember, 4x4earth.com.au/TV. You can watch previous episodes of 4 Drive TV online for free, and your 4x4, our Foxtel show. So make sure you log on to that. Don't forget, stacks of prizes on the website. You've got to be in it to win it. I'm Simon Christie. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard. I'll see you next week.